Hi everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet this pocket shawl. I've included some helpful links in the description below, including a link to the written pattern if you prefer that. I've also included a list of the materials needed, as well as a link to the playlist of my stitch tutorials in case any of the stitches in this video go a little bit too quickly for you. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're going to begin with our starting chain. So let's make our loop. You're going to wrap the yarn around your finger, pull up a little bit of that bottom piece and push a bit of the top piece through. Go ahead and get that onto your hook, and we're going to chain 203. All right, so to do your chain, you're going to yarn over your hook. Okay, yarn over your hook, pull through the loop. Yarn over, pull through. And you'll just keep on doing that until you get to 203. So pause the video, finish your starting chain, and then come back. Okay, so now that you've finished your chain, we're going to work into our third chain from the hook. 1, 2, third chain from the hook, a double crochet. So you're just going to yarn over your hook, push it right through that third chain, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now you've got 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. And we're going to repeat that into every single chain all the way down the row. So you're just going to go ahead and work 1 double crochet stitch into every single chain all the way down. You can pause your video to work on that. And when you get to the end of your row, you'll come back and I'll show you what we're going to do next. All right, for this next row, we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. And now in the first stitch, we're going to work a double crochet. And then we're going to look to the next stitch where that is, and we're going to be working around the post of that stitch, okay? So not in this, see the post underneath our next stitch. We're going to work a front post double crochet. So yarn over, push your hook between those first 2 posts. Wrap your hook around the back and out the other side. So we're pulling the post to the front. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2, pull through the next, and yarn over and pull through the next 2. So regular double crochet after you go through the front post. So then the next stitch, we're going to work a regular double crochet. And then after that, we're going to go to the next post under the next stitch, and we're going to do a front post double crochet. So wrap over your yarn over your hook, push your hook through between the 2 posts around the back of the one you're working on, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then can finish your double crochet as usual. Into the next stitch, we're going to work a double crochet. And you're just going to go ahead and continue on alternating between these 2 stitches, double crochet, front post double crochet, all the way down till you get to the end of the row. And so when you finish working this row of working 1 double crochet and then 1 front post double crochet, all the way down, come back and I'll show you what we're going to do next. All right, so now we're going to chain 1 and turn our work, and we're going to work just a half double crochet. So yarn over, push your hook through that first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. You've got 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull right through all 3. So that's your half double crochet, and we're going to work 1 half double crochet into every single stitch all the way down the row. Okay, so go ahead and keep on working your half double crochets and then come back. All right, so now we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. So we're going to start with a double crochet into the first stitch. Right now for these next 2 rows, we're going to be working a moss stitch. Okay, so it's a double crochet in the first stitch, and then into the second stitch is a slip stitch. So push your hook through, yarn over, and pull right through your loops. Then in the following stitch, another double crochet, and then a slip stitch in the following. And we're going to just continue working, alternating these 2 stitches all the way down. So a double crochet and then a slip stitch, double crochet, slip stitch. And you're just going to continue alternating between those 2 stitches all the way until the end of your row. And when you finish that row, you're going to come back and I will show you what we're going to do next. Okay, so now we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. So for this next step, when we're doing one more row of our moss stitch. So we finished with a double crochet in the last row. So now we're going to start with a slip stitch and then a double crochet. So what you want to do is, for this next row, you're going to work a double crochet into every slip stitch from the previous row and a slip stitch into every double crochet from the previous row. So you should have finished with a double crochet and now you would be starting with a slip stitch in this next row. If your stitch count might be off by a stitch or whatever, that's okay. It's not the end of the world for this pattern if it's off by a stitch. That's all right. So if you happened to finish that row with a slip stitch, don't go and pull apart everything. It's all right. Just start with your double crochet then. What's important for this row is that you are working into the opposite stitch. Okay, so go ahead and finish up and then come on back. Okay, so now we're going to chain 2 and turn our work, and now we're beginning a 2-row repeat. So you're going to work a double crochet into every single stitch all the way down. That's it. For this row, you're just working 1 double crochet into every single stitch all the way down. And this is row 1 of a 2-row repeat. So go ahead and finish your row of double crochets and come back. All right, so now for row 2 of our 2-row repeat, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work, and we're working a half double crochet into every single stitch all the way down. So for this row, you're just working 1 half double crochet in every stitch all the way down. And as I mentioned, it's a 2-row repeat. So you're going to repeat this. After this row, you're going to repeat it 9 more times. So at the end of this row, you're going to chain 2 and turn your work and do a row of double crochets. Then at the end of that row, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work and do a row of half double crochets. So go ahead and do that. The 2-row repeat 9 more times. So it should be 18 more rows of work. And then come back. Okay, so now that you've finished all those rows, we are going to we're going to now finish up to make it match this other side. So for that, we're going to do 2 rows of our moss stitch. So let's chain 2 and turn our work. And we're going to do double crochet into the first stitch, slip stitch into the next. And you're just going to continue alternating between those 2 stitches all the way down. You'll chain 2 and turn your work, and then do 1 more row of moss stitch, working double crochets into the slip stitches and slip stitches into the double crochets. So go ahead and work on those 2 rows and come back. All right, so now that you've finished your 2 rows of moss stitch, we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. And now we're going to work 1 double crochet into every single stitch all the way down. So just 1 double crochet into every single stitch all the way down. And of course you can pause the video. And when you finish your row of double crochets, come back and I'll show you what we're going to do next. Okay, so for this next row, we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. And we're going to work a double crochet into our first stitch. And then a front post double crochet around that next post. Double crochet into the next. And then front post double crochet. And you're just going to go ahead and continue alternating between these 2 stitches all the way down your row. When you get to the end, come on back and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so now we're just going to pull a little bit of the yarn up and we're going to fasten off. We've now finished the shawl, but we have to work on the pockets. So we're going to just go ahead, fasten this off, and we're going to set our work aside and get started on the pockets. All right, so let's make another starting loop and we'll get that yarn onto our hook, and we are going to make a chain of 26. So again, of course, just yarn over, pull up a loop. go ahead and work on your chain. You're going to work, again, your starting chain till 26 and then come back. Okay, so now into the third chain from the hook, we're going to work our double crochet. So go ahead and get that double crochet into the third chain from your hook, and we're going to work 1 double crochet into each following stitch all the way down our row. And when you get to the end of this row, you can come on back. So pause your video, work 1 double crochet into every single stitch all the way down, and then come back. All right, so chain 2 and turn your work. And now we're going to work our double crochet into the first stitch, front post double crochet around that next post. And of course, as you may have guessed, we're going to go ahead and continue alternating between these 2 stitches, working 1 double crochet and then a front post double crochet. So go ahead and continue working those 2 alternating stitches all the way down. And when you get to the end of the row, come on back and I'll show you what we'll do next. Okay, so at the end of your row, you're just going to chain 1 and turn your work. And we're going to work 1 half double crochet into every single stitch all the way down our row. And we're going to continue working our half double crochets for a total of 10 rows. So after this row, do 9 more rows of half double crochet and then come back. All right, so now we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. And now we're just going to work 1 double crochet into every single stitch all the way down our row. Just getting some more yarn here. All right, so go ahead and continue on working just your 1 double crochet into every single stitch all the way down your row. And of course, when you get to the end of your row, come on back and I'll show you what we're going to do next. All right, so at the end of that row, you're just going to chain 2 and turn your work. And now we're going to do our double crochet into first stitch, front post double crochet around the next post. And we're going to be alternating between these 2 stitches for this whole row, just matching up to the other side there. So go ahead and work your 1 double crochet and then front post double crochet, front post double crochet. Keep on working those all the way till the end of the row and then come back. At the end of this row, we're just going to chain 1 and turn our work. And now we're going to work slip stitches all the way down. So just 1 slip stitch into every single stitch all the way down this row. When you get to the end, come back and I'll show you what we'll do next. Okay, so now at the end of this row, where it's a little different, we're going to chain 2, but we're going to just let our work rotate clockwise instead of turning our work. And we're going to go and work a double crochet into that very last stitch again. And now we're going to be working evenly down the side of our work. We're just going to be working a double crochets evenly all the way down. It could be a little tricky because we are working into the side of our work. So you don't actually have stitches that you're working into. You can line up with the rows of work that you just did. So just work your double crochets evenly all the way down. This is to give the bottom of our pocket the same look as the sides of our pocket. Okay, so go ahead and just continue on working your double crochets evenly all the way down and come back. All right, now at the end of this row, we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. And we need to get that textured look like what we have on the sides of our work here. So that's what we're trying to accomplish at the bottom. So now we're going to work our double crochet into the first stitch. And then front post double crochet around that next post. And we're just going to continue on alternating between these 2 stitches all the way down till the end of this row, working a double crochet and then a front post double crochet, and alternate between those 2 all the way till the end and come back. So now we're going to chain 1 and turn our work and then work 1 slip stitch into every single stitch all the way down. The slip stitches are to replicate that starting chain that we had on the very first edge of our pocket. It gives you something to, when you're sewing it onto the work, it doesn't impact those textured stitches. So go ahead and continue all the way down and then come back. Okay, so after that row of slip stitches, you can just go ahead and fasten off your work. Set this aside, follow these steps again for the other pocket, and we'll go ahead and get it connected onto our shawl. Okay, so go ahead and grab your shawl. Let's look from the bottom up. I would recommend attaching your pocket, having your pocket lined up, the bottom of it, at the 6.5 inch point. You don't want to have the pocket right at the bottom, otherwise it's really, really low. So go ahead and get that connected. You can attach it wherever you want. Sew down both sides across the bottom to attach it to your work, and you're done.